Hello everyone, my name is Prasad Ramakrishnan. I'm the CIO of Freshworks, an employee and customer engagement product company. Freshworks is a 100% born in the cloud company. We were founded in 2010, and we address the customer engagement problems in the marketplace. And we think there's a better way to solve that problem by making it accessible to everybody and making the life of our customer agents better. A little bit about my journey. I've been in the industry over 35 years. Started my career in product development, spent some time in consulting, and then I got my calling into IT in the early 2000s, which is when I moved into corporate IT. And since then, I've been kind of climbing up the corporate ladder, and I've been CIO now at 3 different companies since 2013 or so. The journey that brought me into Freshworks is also an interesting journey, right? I actually used to be a customer of Freshworks not once, but 2 times. In 2013, when I was looking to migrate away from a help desk software that we were using, Zendesk, we went to like most people do, we went to Google and then searched for Zendesk alternatives and found Freshdesk. The team evaluated the product, loved the product, and when Freshservice, which was the ITSM tool, got launched, we were one of the first ones to adopt that tool because we were looking for a true ITSM platform to solve our the IT help desk needs. And then when I went to Viva, a pharma CRM company, again we had a problem where we were using Salesforce, which was not doing its job in terms of being a good ITSM tool, and we did an evaluation and deployed Freshservice. So I've known the team, I've known the product, and when Girish and the management team said, "Hey Prasad, can you come and build out our IT department?" It was a no-brainer for me, and because I like the company, I like the type of product that Freshworks builds, and that's why I'm here. So it's been an interesting journey for me. So I think the word digital transformation, if you look at it, right, has been a term that's been used maybe for the last 10-15 years, right? And what has happened is we used to be in a non-digital mode, right? Think about the days before computers became mainplays. We used to be non-digital, meaning we used to have papers that were being processed. If you're an AP department, you would process invoices that comes through the mail, and somebody would read the invoice and then figure out whether this is the right invoice and then get the approvals. That invoice would actually go from person to person, and the person says, "Yep, this looks okay to pay," and then the next person says, "Yep, this looks okay to pay," and then it goes to the actual person who pays. That was the pre-digital world. And then we came to the world of where we started getting packaged applications coming together, where we had in the 80s, I'm sorry, I should say the 90s and early 2000s, we saw the prevalence of applications such as Oracle, Baan, SAP, and others, where you had this notion of packaged applications where instead of doing things on paper, companies started doing it on enterprise systems. These were called big, huge enterprise systems. And we use the term big box and legacy systems when we talk about those. Then came the age of SaaS, right? If you look at the early 2000s, which was when we had the early startup of SaaS and SaaS as a product category. What it solved was it became kind of a breath of fresh air for IT practitioners and for the business. These were tools that didn't try to boil the ocean. These didn't try to solve all problems and solve world hunger. It was to solve specific problems. Now, coming to the 3 points that you're talking about, when we do a transformation of our business, technology today has become not as an afterthought. It's become the foundation on which the entire business is going to change. Example, if you're a pre-public company and trying to go public, you need to have all of your financial systems ready so that now when the CFO needs to do the numbers at the end of the month or the numbers at the end of the quarter, they have a reliable system of record using which they can say, yes, this is the number, and they need to report that. And there are legal and compliance related requirements where the CFO and the CEO have to now sign off on these numbers that are being published to the street, right? So what it means is, if you don't transform the way you're running your finance operations, if you don't transform the way you are you're handling the numbers, you're setting yourself up for failure. Coming to the 3 aspects you're talking about again, right? Customer experience, revenue growth, and operational efficiency. See, at the end of the day, as a fast-growing company, we are constantly reinventing ourselves. Even though we are a 10, 11-year-old company now, we love to think ourselves as a fast-growing startup, right? Where we are still reinventing the way we are working to make sure that we are providing that much more efficiency, that much more kind of bells and whistles to all of our business users so that they can now run their job effectively. So from an IT department perspective, we have people working with our finance department, with our marketing and sales department, with our HR department to transform different parts of our business. And each of these transformations needs to have a theme, and that's where the themes such as customer experience comes in. Now, when I'm talking about customer experience, I talk about customer experience and employee experience, because to me, the employee within Freshworks who's actually building product, who's actually paying the bills, who's actually taking care of the facilities, who's actually interacting with our customers is actually an employee. So for me, it is an employee experience which translates to better customer experience that they provide to their customers, right? So making sure that we provide them the best possible tools to make their life easy is the way we look at transformation, right? And in terms of the tools that we use, right? Being a product company, and this is one of the things which I tell everybody, right? The best thing for us in IT here at Freshworks is we get to interact and work with our own products, right? We use every one of our products internally, be it Freshservice, Freshsales, Freshmarketer. We use all of our products internally. And we get a chance to now not just transform the way the tool is deployed to our end users, but also get to transform the way the tool is built, because we interact directly with the product team and give them requirements. With an employee base of 5,000 plus employees, our tools now are getting pressure tested before it even comes to the market. So we look at these various aspects of transformation in different ways, and there's no better place than Freshworks to do that. So I think having run many of these, most digital transformations, they fail because people don't look at it as a transformation and a journey. People think of it as a project, saying, hey, I'm going to do digital transformation of my HR system, and that is my transformation. And they kind of put boundaries around it and think of it as a project. That is one of the biggest reasons why digital transformations fail, right? Not having a sponsor. When you're trying to kick off a transformation, you want to make sure that apart from the team that is working on transforming the journey, you need to have an internal sponsor, right? Be it if you're doing an HR transformation, you need a chief HR or chief people officer involved. If you're trying to do a go-to-market transformation, you want your marketing and sales leader and your customer service and customer success leader to be involved in the transformation. They need to be sponsors, not just involved. I should say we need them to be sponsors where they are seeing the importance of that, and then they are the ones enabling the transformation to succeed. Now, I use a term which I call Operation Successful but Patient Dead, and that's to talk about this thing called adoption, right? That's the other reason why transformations fail, right? Where if you don't look at how it is going to get adopted, if you don't address what we call as the change management, you would have done all the things that you need to do. But if people are not embracing it, if people are not following the new way of doing it, and people are still following the old way, you have really not transformed, right? So making sure that you have solid change management to improve adoption is a very critical success factor for a digital transformation. And being in technology, right? I think a lot of technologists, they tend to get excited with technology, and sometimes it becomes a solution looking for a problem rather than a problem which requires a solution, right? And that's one of the other big challenges we see with transformations, where transformation for the sake of transformation, because they want to now deploy a tool and it's a solution looking for a problem, is another reason why transformations don't succeed, right? One more reason I can think of is not getting buy-in from the business, right? Because you remember, at the end of the day, technology is not for the sake of technology. It is not for IT. Technology is an enabler for a business function, right? And if you don't get the business buy-in, you will not get them involved in the early stages of the transformation in terms of designing and providing feedback on business process. You'll not get them involved in the design aspect. You'll not get them involved in the testing aspect. So what this does is it's almost like you'll be working as islands, where the business is thinking its own thing and you'll be thinking your own thing, right? So these are some challenges that you face with transformations, and I've also given you some insights on what we can do to make sure it doesn't happen. Having been in the industry over 3 decades, I would date myself if I say the first machine that I worked on was a Windows, not even a Windows, a Microsoft DOS machine. And then at that time, there was a new operating system called Windows 3.0 that got released, right? So I've seen the entire transition from mainframes to PCs to what we call as packaged applications to now a cloud-based and a SaaS-based ecosystem, right? Let's compare and contrast the one key difference between a non-cloud-based or a SaaS-based environment and a cloud and SaaS-based environment. And here I'm going to give an example of things like Oracle, BAN, SAP, and all these packaged applications. And see, these packaged applications had a need at the time that they were deployed, because there were not that many developers out there who could build these type of applications. So companies like Oracle and BAN, they came up with the solutions at that time to solve the problems in those days, right? And so as an IT practitioner, as a technology leader, we had to invest in the storage, we had to invest in the servers, we had to invest in the human cost of actually maintaining all of these servers, maintaining all of this storage. We need a database administrator, I need a network administrator, I need a storage administrator. And then I also need a portfolio of people who are actually keeping these applications running, right? Fast forward the clock to now a SaaS-based footprint. When we buy SaaS-based tools, you are actually buying a service. It's almost like a utility that you're buying, right? You're basically saying, I'm looking for a help desk software, I'm looking for a CRM software. I'm going to now subscribe to that through a portal, right? Through the tool vendors portal, and then I get access to those services. Now the DBA is not within my team. The DBA is actually with the SaaS vendor. The network engineer who's maintaining the server and the storage and other things are not within my team. They're actually with the SaaS vendor. So you've moved not just the cost of your technology, but also a lot of the cost for running your operations has been shifted from within your environment to the SaaS vendor, right? So what you get here is now the ability to now flex up and down depending on what your need is, right? Now the transition from the old to the new, right, which is the legacy to the new, was definitely a challenge. And I had to face the challenge by having worked in companies where we were having a combination of traditional tools as well as the new SaaS-based tools. Because one of the biggest problems is with the traditional big box tools, it was all a CapEx type of spend, which is capital expenditure. You buy a lot of the capital, the software and the licenses, and amortize that over 4 or 5 years. See, even if you did nothing within IT, the depreciation would still be showing up in your books, because we have bought like $1 million or $2 million or $5 million worth of storage and software and servers, and the depreciation for that is a tax that we were paying, right? Now, the time when we started introducing SaaS and cloud-based products, it was going to be a dual cost for a period of time, and that's when the relationship between IT and the CFO kind of came in, where we had to show the value proposition of getting from the old model to the new model, right? And when you go in 100% cloud and SaaS-based technology stack, you have the biggest advantage of, like I said, flexing up and down. Think about it. Now, if your company suddenly hires 100 sales engineers, or if sales engineers or solution consultants or sales reps, you can now just increase the license for that period of time. For companies that do business, more business during the holiday season, which is usually the fourth quarter of every year, right? You typically have a spike in the number of sales agents or the number of support agents that you would bring. Companies have the flexibility of now saying, hey, I want a certain number of licenses only for this period, and then I can ramp down as after the business slows down, after the new year starts. So here you have more control as an IT practitioner to keep your costs and to make your investment where it really matters, right? I talked about the human aspect in the legacy model. Now, the headache of managing is not within my within my team. The headache of managing it is all within the SaaS-based vendor. Now, not all SaaS vendors are the same, right? Now, what has happened is if you look at the the complexities of a SaaS-based environment, you have pretty much relinquished all of the data that you control is now controlled by the SaaS vendor. So making sure that you have the right security governance process, where you have a good evaluation process for evaluating the security posture of the SaaS vendor, how they're going to keep your data, your customer data, your employee data, all the crown jewels that you're really putting on the SaaS platform, how they keep that secure. You need to do the due diligence and make sure that you're checking off all the boxes. Get your InfoSec team involved, get your GRC team involved, get the IT practitioners, get the business involved, looking not just at functionality, but looking at the overall solution that is provided to make sure that it meets the needs of what you and your business are seeking to do, right? So these are some things that I would recommend for you to get the best value from your SaaS-based tools. If you look at marketing has gone digital, right? There used to be a time when marketing used to be a lot of paper, a lot of events, a lot of in-person type of interactions. But now the demographics of the people that are actually using technology has completely changed. We use the term consumerization of IT, and by that we mean everybody lives off a smartphone, right? Your entire world is now in your smartphone, right? And the type of experiences that you get in your smartphone is what you expect, and what you get in your personal life is what you expect in the business technology that you're also using. Meaning the way people interact with their software has completely changed, which means even from a marketer's perspective, the challenge has been now, when you have a face-to-face interaction, it is easier for you to now look at body language and figure out whether you are getting the vibes. But it's become now a completely digital journey, right? Everybody likes to be on chat. Everybody likes to be on WhatsApp. Everybody likes to be on the latest and greatest when it comes to all the mobile technology, right? So making sure that you understand that number one, it has gone digital. Two, when things have gone digital, you actually have some additional insights that you're getting about the customer, right? What you would not have gathered in a pre-digital world about a customer when they're actually walking into a trade booth or when they're walking into a trade show. You do not know much about the person who's walking into the door. But now when you're interacting with them in a digital world, pretty much most of the information that you are now seeking to now talk to that person about is available. Everything that you need to know about that person is also available, right? Either through paid sources or through public sources. So try and know the audience that you're talking to. What is the message that you're trying to give them, right? If you're trying to solve world hunger, you need to know what type of food you want to cook for them, right? So it is about trying to know what is it that this particular customer or this cohort of customers are looking for, right? Understand the problem statement. Don't try to be the solution looking for a problem, right? You always want to know, and this is one thing which we see, right, where you get a lot of messaging about, hey, this is the tool, this is the tool, this is the tool, and talking about features of the tool, but not talking about the problem statement. At the end of the day, IT practitioners and at the end of the day, businesses are trying to run a business and IT is trying to enable the business. And it's about trying to find out what is that specific problem within the business process, or what's the specific problem within the technology stack that you want to solve for using technology, right? And that's where when marketers try to message, make sure you're addressing what is the problem that you're really solving, right? And once you get the attention, then comes your entire educating cycle, and then getting into the qualification cycle and so on, right? Because it takes multiple touches before you can get a person to actually even click on a message, right? Email used to be the most prevalent way by which people interact, right? But now we get 1 million emails in a month, right? It's impossible for us to read through all the emails, right? To the extent that people have actually unsubscribed from many of these lists. So don't make it where you become one of those which becomes a mass email. Talk about a problem statement. Talk about how your tool is actually solving the problem statement, and get the attention of your prospective customer. And for that, you need to know everything about your audience.